Thank you for tuning in to watch the Invest Dallas-Fort Worth Leadership Summit. You're about to watch panel number 2, Innovating Education, leveraging technology and leadership to deliver the talent businesses need. Be sure to like and follow for more content from today's top business and thought leaders. Enjoy.
Morning, everybody. I'm Mike McPherson. I'm the provost at the University of North Texas, and I am excited to be here with you this morning, especially because I get to discuss a topic that is crucial, that's central to our mission at UNT. Education innovation aimed at preparing our students for success in a very rapidly changing world. The Texas Workforce Commission estimates that by 2030, that sounds like a long time from now, but it's only 5 years. By 2030, more than 90% of net new jobs in Texas will require some education, training, or credentials beyond high school. The pace of change is accelerating faster than anyone expected, and the growing number of job functions and processes that are being automated, not just in entry-level jobs, but in every industry and at every level, is truly staggering. Universities like UNT simply must adapt to meet the demands of the changing workforce landscape. The first step is engaging with partners inside and outside of higher education to better understand the knowledge, the skills, the experiences, including internships, that our graduates will need not only to land that wonderful first job, but to build a successful career. Corporate partnerships lead to more relevant curricula, and curricula that are aligned with the needs of industry as well as our students. At UNT at Frisco, we're leveraging our partnerships with industry leaders like the Dallas Cowboys, PGA, the city of Frisco, and others to help students build lifelong career connections through project-based learning, internships, expert panels, networking events, career fairs, and lots more. And more adult learners are looking to universities to help them upskill or reskill to stay competitive. UNT is leading the charge in this area as well, partnering with employers, including Amazon, American Airlines, Liberty Mutual, and lots of others to bring UNT degrees, training, and professional development to their employees. I believe that we are at a critical inflection point in higher education. There has never been a greater need for a clear line of sight between the incredible work that happens every day at our universities in the classrooms and the labs, and the economic and cultural vitality of the communities that we serve. Strong partnerships with employers, civic organizations, community colleges, ISDs, and other partners enable universities like UNT to create impact at scale and to prepare the high talent workforce of the future that our region needs. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the moderator of this panel, Chris Wallace. Since 2018, Chris has served as president and CEO of the North Texas Commission, which leads the region's unified legislative advocacy at the state and federal levels to ensure that policies promote strong local governments, support excellence in public schools, increase the skilled workforce pipeline, and safeguard a thriving, inclusive business environment. Prior to joining the North Texas Commission, Chris was president and COO of the Texas Association of Business, the state's Chamber of Commerce, based in Austin. As a registered lobbyist, he has led advocacy initiatives in the areas of economic development and trade, most notably as founder of the highly recognized Keep Texas Open for Business Coalition. Chris is a frequent presenter and media resource on the importance of regionalism, economic development policy, trade, and immigration reform. He was a finalist for a 2010 White House Fellowship and was recently featured among the 500 most powerful business leaders in Dallas by the CEO magazine. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Chris Wallace.
Provost McPherson, thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership for UNT. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to CAA for hosting us. Thank you to CAA, Abby and team for your commitment to North Texas. Let me invite up our panelists for this particular session. Please, if the panelists would join me on stage. First is Robert Ahdieh, Dean Ahdieh, as I call him. That's how I know him. We went through leadership Fort Worth together many years ago, the Executive Leadership Program. Vice President for Professional Schools and Programs at Texas A&M University. Nobody, no Aggies in here? Okay, there we go. I was waiting for it. Also COO at Texas A&M Fort Worth, and he is Dean of the A&M University Law School. Also joining us is Pamela Anglin. Pam is Chief Financial Officer for Tarrant County College. Welcome, Pam. It's good to have you. Carol Palmer, President of Amberton University. Welcome, Carol. It's good to have you. Thank you for your great work. And finally, Dean Marilyn Wiley, Dean of the Brint Ryan College of Business, one of my favorite Texas leaders, Brent Ryan. They're at the University of North Texas. Dean, welcome. It's good to have you. I saw Dr. Messer and the provost is here. We've got several of our great higher education institution leaders here with us this morning. I want you to give them all a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, they are absolutely, please. They are educating your future workers. It's our future workforce for industry, both public and private sectors in this region, and they are responsible for that. They have a huge responsibility, and they need our entire full support. We're going to set the stage, if you will. As the provost mentioned, our workforce in North Texas, and certainly in the great state of Texas, and the necessary education and training to prepare those workers continues to everly adapt and change, right? We're seeing it in the state legislature. We're seeing it in Congress. We're seeing it in institutions of higher education all across the country, particularly right here in North Texas. And as this panel, as the provost mentioned, is going to talk about innovating education, how we also leverage technology and leadership to deliver talent businesses, the talent that businesses need today. All of you need as your future workers. So these panelists will discuss the current workforce needs in the DFW Metroplex and the importance of leveraging and advancing technology, and particularly AI, in preparing our next generation for the future jobs that we all need in North Texas. Now, I want to tee up this first question to talk about our growth. Growth is certainly something that we're experiencing drastically, as the mayor mentioned this morning here in North Texas. If I can have the slide, if we can. This is a great graphic that you see on the screen that really tells it all. We are the fourth largest region in the country. New York, LA, Chicago, DFW, Houston. Here in about 2 years, we're going to switch places with Chicago. We're going to be number 3. 8.2 or so million people in our 13 county MSA. Put it in perspective, what you see to the right of that graphic, 35 states in the U.S., 35 states in our country have a population less than we do in our 13 county region. 35 states have a population less than what we do right here in North Texas. So with that growth comes a lot of challenges that you'll see on the next slide. Our top 3 challenges, not only in North Texas, but in Texas in general. And those top 3 challenges, 1 is our workforce pipeline, 2 is our infrastructure, and 3 is housing attainability. And we must make sure that our workforce is strong, our pipeline is strong, our economic competitiveness of this region. As we heard from the great panelists this morning in our first panel, our economic competitiveness will suffer if we do not have that workforce. So again, panelists, thank you for being here with us this morning. I want to start with two overall questions for the panelists. Given our growth, as DFW continues to grow drastically, how can education institutions and businesses here in this room collaborate to ensure that students are equipped with the relevant skills to meet the evolving needs of our local workforce? So, Dean, I'll start right here with you, sir.
Well, thank you again for having me here today, and thank you, Chris, for moderating. I'd be remiss not to note that when we're thinking about higher education, and I hope I don't get canceled for this, but by noting that I have three women to my left, as distinguished education leaders. Emily Messer from Texas Wesleyan is here with us, UT Arlington here in Arlington, led by Jennifer Cowley. It really is a testament to kind of the impact of women in higher education today, which was not true even just 20, 30 years ago when I started in the business. And so really it's something we should all be proud of, and we should be particularly proud of in this district, given kind of the room that we're looking at. In terms of the collaboration piece, so my particular context for being here, I suspect, is I'm the chief operating officer of this new innovation campus that Texas A&M is building in Fort Worth, but really with an eye to it serving the needs of the entire Metroplex. When we started the dialogue conversations about that possibility 3-4 years ago, from the get-go, the notion was, we want this not to be a case of higher education coming to business and saying, here's what we do. Do you want any of it? But instead, what are your needs? What are the needs that we can help you meet in workforce, but also in research and development collaborations, in who do you want to hire over time, upskilling your own workers, et cetera, et cetera. That was really the framework. We did what we called a needs assessment. We literally sat down with about 100 some companies and sat down with them and did a systematic kind of conversation about over the next 20 and 30 years, what will be your needs in terms of workforce? What will be your needs in terms of research collaborations and the like? And in turn, we built an actual entity called the Fort Worth Tarrant County Innovation Partnership, funded jointly by the city and the county, City of Fort Worth and Tarrant County, to basically institutionalize that, to create kind of an entity that would do that. So we have tried our best to model this notion that higher education is at its best when it is trying to identify where the needs are. And that's not because we are servants to industry. We have lots of functions, but because a central part of the success of our students and the success of what we do is in collaboration with you. So that model is really what we have found to be successful and hope to continue with.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I think I'll piggyback on that a little bit and give you a specific example of what we're doing at Amberton University. We have a business advisory group that meets several times a year, and we reach out to the businesses to see specifically what you're looking for and what are the needs. And as we all know, it's changed a great deal. And a couple of examples, we've heard from our businesses that they want to see our graduates have more soft skills, right? Especially the younger generation. They're coming out with their degrees, but maybe not able to solve conflict in the workplace. Maybe don't have good time management skills or can't speak to one another so effectively. So we developed a new soft skills course, a new soft skills certificate, did the same thing with customer service. Some businesses were saying, hey, we need graduates that have better customer service skills. So what we're seeing is the businesses are looking for very specific skills, and we're really trying to reach out to meet that need.
To echo, I would say that partnerships with businesses are essential to what we do. And if we are not planning for the jobs of the future rather than the jobs of the past, we are just serving our students as well as our corporate community. So one of the things we try to focus on is having our students think about building a toolkit as much as getting a specific education. So they may be getting a degree in accounting and becoming professional accountants, but what they also need to be is great critical thinkers, good presenters of the knowledge that they have and the analysis that they have done so that they can communicate that well. And they need to be adaptable. We know that the jobs we're training them for that they will start in now may not even exist in 2 years. AI is taking over many of the entry-level jobs that our graduates used to perform. So students have to be prepared to say, if my job is different, I still have the ability to analyze, to critique, to solve problems, and to present the solutions to those problems. And we try to keep that informed with business as we move forward.
Good morning. And for Tarrant County College, as are all of the community colleges in the state of Texas, we're focusing right now on two things: increasing the educational attainment level in the state of Texas. We have to do that for the future. Second is making sure we have a trained workforce for the future. And it's all about partnerships, partnering with school districts, with the universities in our region, and with business and industry to make sure those programs that we're offering are what business needs, that we're focusing on high demand fields in the region, high demand fields in the state, to make sure we're working towards training that workforce. But it's all about, more so than ever before, about partnerships and about working together to keep Texas strong and make sure we can maintain our economy into the future.
Pam, I want to continue with you, and we'll come down this way. Today, certainly higher education is evolving, right? Mm-hmm. And as each of you stated very well, it's evolving to meet the needs of businesses like the ones in this room. How can education institutions today and businesses, how can you work together to offer flexible learning opportunities? That's kind of the key today, right? Is you have adult learners, you have students right out of high school going to community college or going to a 4-year, but most are seeking flexible learning opportunities, how they can work and learn at the same time.
Yes, and that's looking at what the needs are of the students that we serve, the individuals, the ones that want a higher education but have all of these commitments. And so you'll see more flexibility than ever before, offering still the traditional face-to-face, but full degrees online, blended courses where you come to class some, the rest is done online, but looking when you build a schedule at what the needs are, nights, weekends, and just trying to meet every need that you have.
It does really rest on flexibility. We have tried to offer a menu, as Pamela is saying, where students can adapt what they want to where they are. And that includes not only online courses, but it includes also weekend courses for executive learners. It includes upskilling and reskilling, trying to get our students to think about lifelong learning so that the first set of credentials and courses that they get may be a starting point, but that they have an easy reentry with us to add the things that they might need as their careers progress and as they evolve. I think also in that mix is the idea that students may not have a continuous path within education. So we have to offer them the ability to stop out, to take a course in the fall semester and not in the spring, if their busy season is in the spring. We have to reach out to those who didn't finish to offer them multiple paths to do that. And we have to make it affordable. So the partnerships with the community colleges are essential for us. That's a great boost for students starting out. The dual credit courses that students can take in high school. Education is an investment, but we'd like to not make it your down payment on your home. We'd rather make it an affordable step into a rewarding career.
So for over 50 years, Amberton University has catered to the working adult. So flexibility is in our wheelhouse. That is something that we have always thought about. The average age of our student is 39. So we are actually a completion university. A lot of our adult students come to us because maybe they had too much fun as an undergraduate and decided the education wasn't for them, and they're coming back to us and we help them complete. So being flexible has been something that has been important to us always. And how we do that is very similar to what y'all are doing. Evening classes, weekend classes, asynchronous, online classes where they can access their courses 24/7. But we're also looking at the curriculum for flexibility. So right now we're looking at building micro badges, excuse me. But we have certificates, many certificate programs now, close to 30, so that those students that are maybe nervous to come back at a later age can start with their certificate and then move on and apply that toward a degree program. So we're giving them many paths, and that helps with the flexibility. And I will also echo what you said about tuition. It's extremely important that we look at our tuition and keep it very affordable for our students so that they don't graduate with a lot of debt.
I learned in our prep call, Amberton has a great success story, and that's 60%
Yes.
of students graduate without any student debt. So that's not easy to do. Yeah, that's well worth it.
We're very proud of that. Thank you.
Wonderful. And I would commend that as well. It's incredible, the impact of it. So I would echo again everything we've heard. Kind of, so modularity helps, right? So this idea that you're able to do one unit, whether it's a single class or a single set of credits or a certificate, and then build on that over time if that's the right opportunity for you. Whether it's to capping out at a certificate or capping out at a degree or whatever it might be. So I think that's an important element of it. The format of delivery, obviously. So, rise of online and Zoom kind of moved us from, this is this quirky, weird thing, to a mainstream kind of model of how we deliver education, and to recognize really that just like with in-person education, you can do either a good job or a terrible job. You can do the same thing with online education. There's nothing inherent in one that is good or bad. Just either one, you can do good or better or worse, depending on how you approach it. And I think the scheduling thing is worthwhile, again, as you mentioned, Marilyn, independent of the modality of delivery. The idea that you can do it in the evening, you can do it on weekends, you can do it in intensive structures, I think is important. Maybe the only other piece I'll add to that in terms of increasing flexibility is the collaboration among us. So we talked a little bit the first question about collaboration between higher education and business and all of you. But I think collaboration among higher ed institutions is also central to it. So like with TCC, A&M has a set of partnerships that involve students starting at TCC and then flowing into A&M and coming out with a degree on the back end. We're partnering in research partnerships with UT Arlington here in Arlington. So those collaborations can create flexibility for students and opportunities, because again, it may be that my institution doesn't have the bandwidth or structure or time or energy or resources to do X, but Amberton does, or TCC does, or UNT does. And if we can find those opportunities for collaboration, that goes a long way. What I would say is that because I wasn't born in Texas, I haven't internalized the idea that because your football team beat my football team 42 years ago, I hate you. It seems like a strange idea to this Northeasterner that you would hate someone because of a football game 42 years ago. But if we can get past that, at least the other days of the week, and find ways to collaborate across our institutions, I think that can do incredible work.
Dean, thank you. Dean Wiley, I want to go to you now. UNT does an incredible job of bringing industry leaders into the classroom. Can you build on your previous comments about any specific initiatives where industry leaders are leading, particularly on the curriculum development side?
Absolutely. A business school can't do its job unless it's immersed in business and connected to business. And we know that. So we have several different mechanisms that reinforce that and build on it. First, we have advisory boards for all of our programs. Those are typically small within the college because I'll have one for marketing, one for sport management, but they are industry leaders actively working in the field, and they advise us more than anything else on curriculum and student skills. So we are continually revising to be looking forward as to what they anticipate they will need from the workforce that they'll be hiring over the next few years. That's one piece of it. Another thing that we have is a corporate partners program. So we have relationships with different companies who join this program, where not only do they tell us what they need, but we build a closer recruiting partnership. We bring them into the classroom. We bring about probably 200 corporate speakers into our classrooms every semester, so that students are hearing directly from the business leaders with whom they will be working when they graduate. And then a third thing is the larger partnerships within the community. Frisco Economic Development Corporation, thank you, Gloria, we are delighted to partner with on events and things that bring presence to them and to us. For example, we did a luncheon last fall with Dan Hunt talking about the impact of the World Cup, and Frisco EDC was a co-sponsor for that luncheon, and we were able to talk about how partnerships make us great. So things like that, I think, are also very important.
Excellent example of collaboration. If you haven't seen UNT Frisco, please go see that campus. Beautiful, beautiful campus. President Palmer, I'm going to go to you next. Expand a little bit on how universities balance the pursuit of academic excellence and practical needs of industry. You're a pro at that, right? The practical needs of a specific trade.
Good question. That's a great question. I'd like to speak a little bit about AI, because AI is really changing our industry, all of our industries, correct? And it's certainly big in our world. And I think as an institute of higher education, we all have to be able to pivot faster than maybe we have historically, right? And so we're looking at the needs of what do the businesses need and what can we offer? And so what we're doing at Amberton, I'll give you an example, is we're doing a deep dive into every single course university-wide, adding an AI component into each and every course, doesn't matter what the discipline is, because we must have that. I heard something recently that, people are worried that AI is going to replace them, but AI is not going to replace us. It may replace us if we don't know how to use AI. So we have to lean into that. And I think that technology component is so important. But then also, I think guaranteeing a skill set for our graduates when they come out as a graduate from Amberton. 80% of our graduates are actually graduate students. So we have a very small undergraduate population. When they come to our university, they're coming to upskill, to earn that graduate degree so they can advance in their career. So they're looking for very, very specific skills. And again, we listen very carefully to what business and industry is saying. We build that into our courses. Of course, the theory is important, but we're finding that the skills are very, very needed in today's workforce. So we make sure that in each and every course, our graduates have at least 3 to 5 specific acquired skills. And similar to what Marilyn said earlier, we're having our graduates build a portfolio along the way so that when they graduate, they can go to their employer and say, hey, here are the specific skills that I learned. And this is what I know. This is how I know how to use AI. So hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you. Pam, Tarrant County, you bring a really unique perspective to this panel as CFO of a community college, one of the largest in the entire state. TCC does a great job working with PTEX, with early college, high schools. Tell us a bit more about implementing those programs, even really before students reach college, right? And I want to do a quick follow-up question. We've got a little time left. I can't go any further without talking about HB8, right? So we all worked hard on HB8 last session. We're going to tweak it this session, probably unanimous across the board, hopefully in both chambers, to allow transfer credits. So touch on both, if you will. Okay.
I'm going to talk a little bit about HB8 that passed in 23. So this is our second full year under House Bill 8, but it has really been transformational for the community colleges because we're now funded on performance outcomes. And those performance outcomes, completing a certificate, completing a non-credit industry credential, completing an associate degree, credentials of value, making sure that our students, we get funded when our students complete and leave us. And then at that point in time that they're earning more than a living wage and able to cover what it costs them for college, plus the opportunity cost of that time they spent in college. So it is really transformational. It forces us all to look at offering, making sure what we're teaching meets the workforce needs, reaching out to the high schools, because we get funded for every high school student that we have that completes 15 credit hours while in high school. Research shows that if a student does 15 hours, college hours, while they're in high school, they're more likely to continue after high school and actually achieve a degree. And so doing that, and Tarrant County offers free tuition to all of the high school students in Tarrant County. So that's out there. We have 12,000 students this spring enrolled in dual credit in the high schools, but that we're hoping that will really transform what's happening in Tarrant County, bringing more students into the universities and having a skilled workforce for the future. In doing that, I counted last night 129 agreements with area schools. So some we have multiple agreements, but it includes early college high schools. We have early college high schools offered on every campus in Tarrant County. There's multiple school districts on that college campus in an early college high school. Again, free tuition. So it's, we really have to work our budget to be able to do that, but it's important to the college, to Tarrant County, for us to be able to do that. But the PTECs, Pathways in Technology, and we're working with school districts where they have a variety of opportunities to get workforce training while in high school, partnering with local business and industry in each of those PTECs. So when you look at the opportunities in those PTECs, it's amazing what those students have access to. Diesel training, all the medical, entering into the medical field. We have one early college high school on the Trinity River campus. It's a biomedical science high school partnership with Fort Worth ISD. I see those students walking in the halls every day, some days in their scrubs when they're doing clinicals that day. I mean, amazing opportunities. We have a partnership with the film industry with Studio 101 in Tarrant County. And we're training people. They need technicians to be able to continue filming in Tarrant County. They need all kinds of technicians. They need sound, lighting, camera people, costumes, makeup, set design, all of those things that those skills are not readily available here. So we're training those areas, and some of the high school students have access to those. So they can test the water while they're in high school, see if that's an area they want to continue on. But all of those areas, those opportunities are based on industry needs in Tarrant County.
Got about 1 minute left. Thank you, Pam. Bobby, I want to end with you. One, thank you to Texas A&M University System for your continued investment, expansion into this region, into Tarrant County. Brag a little bit, because it's certainly due, about your innovation campus.
So again, I mentioned at the outset, so again, the kind of the genesis of it is this kind of really, how do we think about, how do we meet business needs? Though probably the biggest thing to say is that, and you can give the Aggies a little bit of credit, if you want to do some looping, but some of it is really, it's a testament to the growth in DFW that we're seeing, that Chris was describing at the outset, but also to the desire for collaboration and partnership that we're seeing, the mayor mentioned regionally, and that we're seeing between business and higher education. And then frankly, again, that we're seeing among the higher institutions, that what started off really as one building and one kind of set of initiatives became 2, became 3. It's now 5 buildings. And the Board of Regents' main question was, what happens? Do you have space that you're acquiring for building 6 and 7 and 8 beyond that? I should say that none of what A&M is doing we think of as trying to stepping on the toes of other schools. Again, I asked, we started with the question of what does business need? We also start with the question of what are other universities already doing, right? Because if other universities are already doing it well, then we don't need to do that. We don't want to do that. And so really the main thing I would tell all of you, and I think this probably is true of all of our universities, is we want to hear from you. Being at A&M with this innovation campus, it's an academic industry campus. And so we really, really need to hear from you what it is that you need. So tell anyone from A&M and we can help. But I really think for all of our institutions, we want to hear from you and understand better what your workforce training needs are, educational programming needs are otherwise, and research collaboration needs, and because we want to help to meet them.
Awesome. A round of applause for this panel. Great leadership. Exceptional. Thank you all very much. Thank you.